live. Weekdays from 8 to 9 a.m. with replays later. This is the Daily Delaware County Today with Steve Lindell.
Away we go. Thank you, Tom Campbell. We are looking at a cancellation of a guest. It's a mystery to me. We have a Parks Department report that'll come up later on this hour. We have a Mick Tidrow update, Ball State's voice of Cardinals, and a lot more coming together. Live radio, you just got to be ready for anything. Hi, hello, and good morning from inside Studio B on the campus of Wolf Boom Radio. I am Steve Lindell, your host with the most, or sometimes as much as I can muster. We say hello to our listeners all around the Fruited Plains. Of course, 92.5 FM, 1340 AM. The vast majority of our audiences are on the terrestrial radio. We do have streamers on the smart speakers this morning, right now live in Chicagoland, L.A. and Rialto, California, Minton, Florida, Louisville, Kentucky. That's how they say it. Minnesota, Mama, and Roger, I see you there. Portland, Oregon, Sister Sherry. Columbus, Ohio. I think there's a school near there. And other places and locales are certainly listening, and we're glad that you are. On the YouTube page, the channel is Wolf Boom Studio B. We upload this video cast to that page so you can see what color shirt I'm wearing that day, which would be today. All right, it's time for Paul Poteet weather. We'll get to that always in our first of the list. He's the meteorologist in charge of the weather for East Central Indiana here on WMUN.
Good morning. Maybe you heard some thunder moving through the overnight or early morning hours. That's from one wave going through. Another round of showers and thunderstorms later this afternoon, probably not till after about 4 o'clock, will bring us a chance of maybe some large hail or some damaging wind gusts. So there's a marginal severe risk for later today. 76 for the high, in between some nice warm sunshine. And then tonight we'll be done with a storm chance after midnight, low 56. Mostly sunny, beautiful tomorrow. Thursday's high around 80. And then for Friday, partly sunny in the morning, showers and storms in the afternoon and evening. High of 78. Partly sunny and 72 Saturday. Same thing on Sunday. And next week, the next big rain day will be Monday. Highs in the mid-70s, and will cool off a little bit back to normal temperatures into the mid-60s Tuesday. That's your expanded look at the weather this morning. Now more from Steve.
Always more from Steve and from Paul Poteet, weather guy, hourly updates on WMUN. He predicted, and it happened last night, some thunderstorms in and around the Muncie area and beyond. Justin Peckinpah and Sean Mattingly, our technologists on staff, dealt with a off-air emergency. We appreciate their work always, and it was one half of the frequencies that impact the WMUN. We're glad that nothing was more severely damaged. Of course, that could be incorrect now that we said that out loud and we dive into the rest of our day, muddling through computers and technology, but everything seems to be oakley-dokley so far, so good. All right. We'll get on to our local news summary next. First, a change of plan. Bottom of hour, we had intended to bring you another one of our series of interviews with Meet the Candidates, but that cancellation happened just moments before the broadcast. Live radio, we hope everybody's okay. We'll tell you what we know when we get to the 8:30 mark this morning, and maybe the plan ahead, too. That also will avail us the opportunity to talk to Mick Tidrow a little earlier rather than later in the hour today, the voice of the Cardinals. The Chirpies happened this week, and there's a lot of sports of all sorts still in effect, and some excitement at Worthen Arena tonight. He'll preview that and some baseball and more and more and more. Now to that local news summary. These stories airing on all of our stations in East Central Indiana, as well as viewable on wolfboomnews.com any day, all days. And now the audio is on WMUN. Stephen Avitt is one of 7 Democrats running to represent Indiana's 5th District in the U.S. House of Representatives. He told WMUN this week what he believes separates him from his competition in next month's primary.
I'm just frustrated. I'm a small business owner. I've got experience doing things like that. So at the end of the day, I just really want to go to Washington and get things working again.
Indiana Governor Mike Braun signed a bill into law Monday to make sure illegal immigrants don't have commercial driver's licenses.
He says they've already taken steps to get hundreds of illegal immigrants off the road after they were arrested for driving with improper licenses and putting other people in danger. Jake McDaniel, Network Indiana.
A Muncie man's 60-year sentence for murder with 20 years added as an habitual offender has been upheld by the Indiana Court of Appeals. Delaware County Chief Deputy Prosecutor Zach Craig told the Star Press 46-year-old David Earl Bond Jr.'s crime was the most disturbing he's dealt with in his 16 years on the job as far as brutality and complete disregard for human life. The Indiana State Police teaming up with the DEA again for National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day.
This Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., you can drop off expired or unwanted medications at any ISP post across the state. The service is free, anonymous, and no questions are asked. By clearing out your medicine cabinet, you help prevent accidental poisonings and drug misuse in our communities. Remember, most abused prescription drugs comes from friends and family, so you can do your part this Saturday to keep Indiana safe. Visit the Indiana State Police website to find the closest post near you. Johnette Cruz, Network Indiana.
It started over 5 decades ago to raise awareness over growing concerns of pollution. Earth Day has expanded to become an annual global event, motivating action in more than 192 countries and inspiring people worldwide to clean up. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
The day before a 2-week ceasefire was set to expire, President Trump says the truce with Iran is extended indefinitely. The president says while the ceasefire remains, so too does a naval blockade preventing cargo ships from entering or leaving Iranian ports. In Washington, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Farm Service Agency offices in Delaware and Madison counties are among several in Indiana looking to fill a full-time program analyst position. Applications must be submitted at usajobs.gov by the close of business day, May 4. Second Harvest Food Bank's Getting Ahead program, part of its Forward Steps initiative, is coming to Madison County in August. CEO Becca Clausen told the Anderson Journal Morning Show the 16-week poverty assistance program is proven to work.
It's, there's a national group of organizations that do this, so it's evidence-based.
Indiana Republicans call it a win for election integrity after the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals overruled a federal judge who blocked Senate Bill 10 that was passed last year that prohibits the use of student IDs as a form of voter identification. Opponents sued the state over SB 10, alleging the law violates students' constitutional rights. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
Bob Bloom's wife, Kathy, remains a vital part of the mission at Man for Man Ministries, helping men rehabilitate their lives after serving time in prison. Bloom told Mitch Hank on Anderson Talks she's known around the grounds as Mama.
She says her words that are sometimes were the challenge to change something in your life.
Yeah.
But they take it because it's not that it's a punishment, it's about a great teaching and helping, inspiration.
The referendum gives the Democratic-controlled Virginia legislature, rather than the state's current nonpartisan commission, temporary redistricting power. The public vote, however, may not be the final word. The state Supreme Court is considering whether the plan is illegal in a case that could make the referendum results meaningless. Sue Guzman, Fox News.
The Muncie Public Library among those celebrating National Library Week with its Find Your Joy theme. Everyone invited to stop by one of the library's 4 branches in town and discover the vast array of services available. Read more on our free MuncieJournal.com. Colts general manager Chris Ballard says even without a first-round pick in this year's NFL draft, they may still trade back.
Like always, I just think kind of the more shots you have at the board, the better. What you can't do is get so fixated on one player that you lose sight of the big picture. I would anticipate us being pretty aggressive moving around the board.
Two men, 24-year-old Dontrell Cole of Franklin and 26-year-old Cameron Perry of Indianapolis, have been arrested after a high-speed chase through 3 counties ended on I-69 near Pendleton on Monday. The Herald Bulletin says both men face preliminary gun-related charges, too. Pendleton Heights Show Choir Emerald Suites director Aaron Archer and 2 of her student leaders, Sadie and Claire, joined the Anderson Journal Morning Show last week. Archer says the seniors are leaving quite a legacy with back-to-back state titles.
It has been a wonderful experience watching them grow for 4 years. It's going to be painful to watch them leave here in the next month. But they have truly grown the program and built it into something wonderful and beautiful and set a wonderful tradition, and they're leaving a legacy behind for wonderful things to continue.
More local every day on our free wolfboomnews.com.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio. I'm Gary Dick. Fishers Mayor Scott Fadness says development of a culinary and entertainment district and a separate life sciences hub has exceeded expectations. The city recently announced a $75 million luxury hotel to be built next to the new Fishers Event Center.
The amount of culinary opportunities, I think we're announcing a restaurant, it seems like every few weeks that's going to go in there. We're topping probably 30 or 40 restaurants that'll be right in that area. You have almost 1,500 units of multifamily. You got a 70,000 square foot office building being built, and now you have an AC Marriott, and then hopefully here shortly a Hilton high-end boutique hotel.
Indiana Michigan Power has made a filing with the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission as part of its effort to acquire the Sycamore Riverside Energy Center, a planned 918-megawatt natural gas generation facility to be built in Sullivan County. I&M says the proposal to acquire Sycamore Riverside is a component of its future-ready plan. You're listening to Inside Indiana Business Radio.
We build Indiana. The Laborers International Union of North America builds and maintains roads, bridges, and other essential infrastructure that make us the crossroads of America. So thanks to LIUNA members' work, Hoosiers have a better quality of life, like access to utilities, easier routes to jobs, schools, or medical care, and deliveries keep moving. We build Indiana for good jobs and stronger communities. The Laborers International Union of North America. We are LIUNA.
Indiana, start your engines. Join us from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for our Emmy Award-winning Business at the Brickyard, presented by LIUNA. All month long, we'll bring you exclusive interviews, features, and a behind-the-scenes look at how the business of motorsports and racing drive the Indiana economy. Business at the Brickyard. It's front row access you won't want to miss.
Business and economic development drives the 765. That's why WMUN News Radio created the website and the weekly radio show called 765businessjournal.com, Mondays from 9 to 9:30 a.m. Hosted by longtime Muncie resident and former broadcaster Lefay Pagese. Sponsored by IU Health, Town of Yorktown, MIPS, Ivy Tech Community College Muncie, Minnetrista, YMCA of Muncie. If you have tips or questions about business and economic development, email WMUN@wolfboom.com. That's WMUN@wolfboom.com. You can also call and leave a voice message at 289-6397. Want to hear more? Replays uploaded daily on WMUNmuncie.com. Now back to Delaware County Today with Steve Lindell, presented by Muncie Community Schools.
Thank you, Tom Campbell, voice of WMUN. If you're wondering how yesterday turned out, Ivy Tech Day was a big one. You're looking at the graphic and the numbers on our Zoom page within our Wolf Boom Studio B broadcast. We'll tell you the digits. We'll make you wait till tomorrow morning's news. These are temporary, partial numbers, so sometimes it takes just a little bit longer to get the finals in. I can tell you this much. If you missed yesterday's luncheon event at Ivy Tech's campus in the downtown Muncie area, I was pleased and proud to be there again for a live-action broadcast on one of our Wolf Boom stations, 104.1 WLBC. you can go to my Facebook page and or that station's Facebook page to see pictures and or videos of the eyeball-eating chancellor, Mr. Scott. It was a hootenanny, and a lot of good times were had by all, and I do mean everybody that showed up in a big crowd. We were very, very happy to see everybody excited about the Ivy Tech Community College in the downtown Muncie area. All right, before we go any further, is it farther or further? Someone's going to tell me. Probably Al, my assistant producer listening out there in Radio Land. Hey, Big Al. Let's get a snapshot of our day today.
It's April 22nd, and this is your Fox Daily Snapshot. Today is Earth Day, the anniversary of the start of the modern environmental movement. It was first celebrated in 1970. Also on this day in 2004, a football player turned military man is killed by friendly fire in Afghanistan. Pat Tillman enlisted in the Army after the September 11th attacks. He was shot by fellow Rangers at the age of 27, a death that was originally covered up by the military. German and Nazi leader Adolf Hitler concedes defeat in 1945 after learning that Soviet forces made their way into Berlin. He announced from his underground bunker that he would commit suicide. Richard Nixon dies in 1994. He had suffered a major stroke several days earlier. He was the 37th president but resigned, the only one to ever do so because of likely impeachment and removal from office because of the Watergate scandal. I'm CJ Papa. That's your Fox Daily Snapshot.
On WMUN, News Talk, Sports Talk, Community Talk, and the one with a gigantic TV in Studio B. YouTube channel, Woof Boom Studio B. You're looking at the front side of the room where that TV in the green room exists right now. If you're watching the video replay, as we whip the camera around now, you can see me at the broadcast position, where I am told by our Kurt Darling, Woof Boom Sports Director, that this weekend is a special Ball State baseball game. They will not only have a home series Friday, Saturday, Sunday live on the WMUN, they're also going to welcome in alumni. I don't know if I can tell you much more. I do know this, that Kurt Darling and our Justin Peckinpah and maybe some others are working on something very special, which you will be able to hear and or see from Woof Boom Studio B after it is all said and done. So that's pretty cool. It is, 8:22. Now we bring up on the screen a resource page that we talked about audibly on this radio show. What you're looking at is the Greater Muncie area. No, not the Greater Muncie area. It's the United Way, the Heart of Indiana United Way voter resource page. This is for the Muncie area and Anderson area. Lots of links and information about a lot of candidates that responded to a survey in the days and weeks before early voting began. And Jenny Marsh, Heart of Indiana United Way, brought this up to us, and we wanted to share with you as a way to know the candidates better. And also, more importantly, in the Muncie area, to know about the vote centers scenario, or is it scenario? I don't know. Some people say it both ways. Anywho, the voting is different as of May 5, as we've told you, because it's anything new and different. There will be some confusion. We want to try to stave that off in advance to help explain that you don't go to your precinct little church or place that you're accustomed to have gone through the years and years. Now the vote center scenario is underway. So it's going to be convenient. It is going to be easy. You can go to any one of those, no one in particular, any one of those on primary election day, which is May 5. From 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. local time. If you are in line when the vote ends at 6 p.m. local time, you get to stay in line. Same rules as always. And there's early voting, too, that is underway already. And I think the last 2 weekends prior to the primary, now this is a Rick Spangler thing. The Delaware County clerk told me this a long time ago, that there is also county building and or Delaware County Fairgrounds, one of the vote centers where you can early vote too. I'm going to get back to you on that. I'll review the audio that I had from several weeks ago. And as I've told you before, and my beautiful wife Nancy knows wholeheartedly, Steve's brain only works so well. We do try to do things for you on this program to help you save some cashola. Now to the grocery store we go.
Saving you money, I'm Hillary Barsky. Food prices continue to spike and are around 19% higher this year than 4 years ago. Buying groceries is a necessity, however, overpaying is not. And there are strategies to help you lower your food costs, like comparing per unit prices. When you do that, don't evaluate the sticker price alone. Make sure you consider the cost per unit to find out which product is actually the most affordable. If you have multiple grocery stores in your area, you can also compare prices across stores. There are plenty of apps that can make comparison shopping easier, and shop your pantry before making a grocery list, which can help lower your food bill and also help eliminate waste by using up food that's about to go bad. And avoid prepackaged, pre-cut, and prepared items when possible. They're often more expensive, and try to buy non-perishables in bulk. Join grocery store loyalty programs and sign up for a rebate app. And consider using a rewards credit card, which can help offset some of the higher costs. Saving you money, Hillary Barsky, Fox News.
On WMUN YouTube channel is Wolf Boom Studio B. Subscribe to that page. You'll see a lot of great local content. Not only this show every day, uploaded right after the program ends, but also Inside Ball State Baseball. The Thursday program is on radio, 5 to 5:30 p.m. with many of our sports team and broadcasters. Then the video uploads shortly after the program goes off the air. Then there is the Daily Power Hour. Not always video on that one, but the audio is live on the radio, 92.5 FM, 1340 AM, and the streaming devices as well. Okay, the cancellation that we had was this particular individual, J.D. Ford, one of the 7 Democrats running for the nomination. For the 5th Congressional District, we had him booked as part of our Meet the Candidates segments and the series of interviews. And just this morning, right before we went on the air, the note came from one of his personnel that he needed to cancel and or reschedule. So we hope everything is okay, safe, sound, and secure, and we will make every effort to try to do just that. We do have at least one of those candidates to meet tomorrow morning, and maybe 2. I can't remember. I'll think ahead, look ahead, and I'll get back to you. In a moment, we're going to go into our Zoom room. We'll talk to the VOC. He's Mick Tidrow. That's a lot of letters on WMUN.
Hey, it's Jonas Knox, and did you know that most deodorants just cover up BO with fragrance? They don't stop body odor. Kind of gross if you think about it. Nobody's fixing the actual problem until Mando. Mando uses mandelic acid to neutralize odor-causing bacteria at the source before there's anything to mask. It's proven to block odor all day, controlling it up to 72 hours. Apply once and you're done. No reapplying midday, no backup plan. Apply Mando like your regular deodorant. The mandelic acid goes to work immediately, neutralizing bacteria at the source. That's it. Mando was founded by a doctor who was fed up with a stale billion-dollar industry that stopped innovating. This is what deodorant should have always been. Mando delivers strong performance, but it's still skin-safe and made with clean ingredients. Don't mask it, Mando it. And right now, new customers can get 20% off site-wide with code 2pros at shopmando.com. That's 20% off site-wide for first-time customers with code 2pros at shopmando.com.
Too many families face a widening gap between what they can afford and what they need to thrive. More than half of families in the U.S. today are one paycheck away from financial crisis. At Good 360, we deliver hope when families need it most, providing essentials like clothing, hygiene items, and household goods. Put help within reach. Learn more at good360.org.
The NBA playoffs are here, and now you can trade every game on Kalshi. Los Angeles is trading at 18% to take the series against Houston. That means a $100 trade pays out $525 with a win. On Kalshi, you're trading against other people in a live market. No house and no odds maker. And as the odds move, you can buy in and out anytime throughout the postseason. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app. Use code PROVE to get $10 when you trade 10. Kalshi, Kalshi. Trade on anything.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Some days, self-care starts with Nature-Made gummy vitamins, a deep breath, and a little encouragement.
Mom, I'm really nervous.
Me too, honey, but we've got this. Repeat after me. I'm gonna have a good day.
I'm going to have a good day.
I choose joy no matter what comes my way.
I bring joy wherever I go.
Quality gummy vitamins from Nature-Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Listen to Delaware County Today on Alexa. Just enable the skill, then say, Alexa, play WMUN. Now back to Steve Lindell.
If you are watching the YouTube channel, you have the good fortune of seeing the hairy face of Mr. Mick Tidrow. He is the voice of the Cardinals, and he is a man. Look at you. What, are you doing something? Are you making a statement there, Mick? What's going on?
Steve, it's just out of pure laziness, to be completely honest with you. I've hit that point where I'm like, I just got to roll with it. We'll see how long it goes. And maybe tomorrow it'll be a new day, but we don't know.
All right, got it. So he's semi-giving up. It's Mick Tidrow, voice of Cardinals, on WMUN. We look forward to our conversations with you every time, Mick. And not just the conversations, but the good fortune we have to hear you on our Woof Boom radio stations. I know you're excited for football, which isn't that far away, but we got to get through some sports of all sorts right now. Let's start with the most pertinent, because it is Wednesday. We got some volleyball lowdown happening at the Worthen, right?
We do. Big match tonight, Steve. This is one that gives you a chance to play for the championship, and I think this is a pretty interesting semifinal matchup because McKendree and Ball State obviously played each other during the regular season. McKendree comes off a match where they were up 2-0 on Ohio State. Buckeyes came back, forced a fifth set, and then McKendree pulled away and won by 3 points in set 5. So McKendree's a tough opponent for the Cardinals, but Ball State's built for moments like this. They've constructed their team and their season the way they have to be ready for these kind of games. So I'm curious to see how both teams come out because Ball State swept Northern Kentucky. McKendree had a 5-setter, and I don't know. This is a really good matchup, and I think the possibilities are pretty exciting for the MIVA right now because, quite honestly, with the 12-team expanded NCAA tournament, you could conceivably get 2 teams in the tournament. Now, how does that look? We'll see, and how it all plays out, but this league has been so strong this year, so it doesn't surprise me what happens from here on out with who makes the championship, who wins the championship. But I'll tell you, the Cardinals have put themselves squarely in the middle as the 1 seed, as the regular season champions to do some damage and win this thing.
And as we have found out in the past, in this particular sport and tournament, and all postseason tournaments, got to win to stay in. And I think the coach, even when you interviewed him last week on WMUN, he sort of made reference to the guys don't want to let that happen again. They want to keep going and going and going.
Right, because I'd referenced the 4 titles in the last 5 years on the regular season side, and Coach Iandolo said, well, yeah, I'm paraphrasing here, but yeah, those are great, but we miss the ultimate goal every time except for 22. So he knows what's at stake. He knows what this team is about and how they've handled their business so far, puts them in that spot to really ignite a run here.
This is Voice of Cardinals, Mick Tidrow, in our Zoom room within Studio B. He says all these things himself. He ad-libs all this. He remembers. Do you have a photographic memory, Mr. Tidrow? How does that work?
So I liken what I do to cramming for a test last minute in high school. And how my brain works is I can't, at this point, and maybe this is sad, I don't know. But at this point, it's easier for me to remember things right before I need to do them and not get ready a week out and start prepping like that. So when I heard you first go through all this stuff, when I was in the Zoom room with you, I was like, oh, perfect. Okay, let's start logging that into my memory. And now every time I come on to Zoom, I see the Studio B sticker right behind you.
Yeah.
So that helps me when I come in tomorrow to remember, hey, Studio B, Zoom room. It's a weird process, but it's how my brain works at this point. So cram for a test. Day before, we're good.
He has forgotten to shave. He is Mick Tidrow, though. He is on WMUN. We're in Wolf Boom Studio B. We'll talk about his Thursday program in just a second and see if he's got anything planned ahead for inside this room, I would assume, as you just alluded to. Let's go to the Chirpies, because this has become quite the event, the soiree. And I assume it was another one of those Worthen events that became very memorable again.
It was, Steve, and there's always a buzz when you get to whenever the Chirpies date is, because the way it's transpired the last 9-10 years with the Chirpies that started in 2017 is it took a hiatus when COVID hit, and it took some time to get it back up and running. And the last 4 years it's been on, but I think this last year, all the different departments and people that were involved, we were able to really sync it together and put on a really good show. So it was exciting to celebrate the student athletes, the coaches, the support staff, spirit squads, everybody to put on a show there. And it was a good time because you have over 10 awards that are given out, and it's a chance for fellow student athletes to, show their appreciation for each other and what they've done. So I thought it was a great night, Steve. It's one of those nights that you look forward to. It's circle on the calendar, and everybody enjoys the lights.
Everybody dresses up. And did anybody ask you, what are you wearing? Did they give you that question?
I never got that, thankfully. I think most people just assume I'm going to wear a shirt and tie and a jacket at this point. So
one last Chirpy question. There is on the slideshow for the Chirpies, there is a kiddo in one of the award presentations. Do you remember that one, and what was going on there?
Yeah, so the Heart of the Cardinal Award was handed out by President Mearns, and he welcomed the three winners, Kay Britton, Cole Stumbaugh, and Carson Homer, who have worked in the community very heavily to help those in need. And Kay Britton is a long snapper for the football team, and he has a brother that was diagnosed with cancer at 2 years old.
Oh.
And he's now 10 years old and has beaten it. And he was the little kiddo on stage with Cade, Cole, and Carson to celebrate the award. And it was a special moment because you could just tell in Cade's voice as he was explaining the story and breaking down the journey that this meant a lot to him and to his brother and to those three football players, but also just to the community that, hey, you can fight through this. We have your back. Let's support you. And what a wonderful award that is to showcase what student athletes are doing in the community, because most of those awards are for on the court, on the field, in the play of competition. But this one being an off the competition field award, I think spoke volumes to what the moment was, and just well done by those three, and to do what they've done in the community. They've raised, I don't remember the exact number, Steve, but they've raised, I believe, over 6 figures in funds to help, and that's pretty remarkable.
Very good. Thanks for sharing that story. Mick Tidrow, voice of Cardinals. He's in our Zoom room within Wolf Boom Studio B. We got a name for everything. Let's go baseball. Now, yesterday didn't turn out the way we had hoped. The comeback game, IU was in town. They scored some big numbers. So what's the weekend looking like? Oh, there's a today planned first, though, anyway.
There was a late edition for baseball today. IU South Bend is going to come to town. So Ball State, they've had some midweek games canceled, and so this one was not too long ago added to the schedule to try and fit in more. A lot of that has to do with trying to continue to get these pitchers ready to go by the season's end and for weekend games. But yep, they're going to add one today, and then the weekend UMass is coming to town for the first Ball State UMass MACtion series. And Cardinals need this one, Steve. They didn't win the series against Kent State after taking the Friday game. And I think Coach Maloney will be the first one to tell you that this is a series that the Cardinals need to win 2, probably 3 to get back into the swing of it. And doing it at home is important. The offense can ignite at any point, which we saw yesterday against Indiana, 10 runs, 16 hits. But at the end of the day, I know Coach Maloney and company are looking to get back into it. And, you know, it's good to have UMass and Muncie for the first time on the baseball field as MAC opponents. This will be a good one.
For the Sunday game, by the way, they changed that one I saw on the socials to a noon start, I think at the behest of UMass or something like that. Always stay on the socials, folks. Sometimes those game times can get tweaked up a little bit for a weather reason or whatever, so just stay with us on radio, and we'll certainly do our level best to make sure you know what you need to know. We got radio coverage on all 3 games, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Last item, what's on the big show tomorrow, Mr. Tidrow?
You want to come on? I need a guest.
That means he's got nothing planned. Yeah, I'd be glad to come on. Absolutely.
Well, we'll have A.D. Mitchell talk with us, go over Chirpies, talk about the last couple of weeks of the academic year. Graduation's coming up already, which is just insane to think about. That's on May 2nd. And then we'll preview some other things, track and field championships, mid-May, things like that. Will be on the docket, and we're trying to lock down our second guest.
I got a suggestion for you. I don't know if you're open to suggestions or not, but I think, especially being in the video studio, Wolf Boom WMUN Studio B, what if you had Charlie Cardinal as a guest to interview?
That would be interesting.
That's what I'm saying.
The quietest 30 seconds to a minute in Studio B history, but we could do it.
I think it's a good idea. Thank you very much, sir, and give me your chirp thing, because you always do that.
Yeah, appreciate you having me, Steve. Chirp, chirp, go Cardinals.
That is Mr. Mick Tidrow. He is fantastic. You have no idea how talented that young man is, folks. We do. And many do, and many more should appreciate the greatness that is Mick Tidrow. He's already signed off, like disconnected from the Zoom, but I would say it even if he was still sitting there on the screen, nodding. He would probably be shaking his head, though. Oh, quit saying that about me. Man, I like his nickname that I can't say on the radio. Can I get to that someday? My name is Steve Lindell. I've got a nickname, too. Actually, I've probably got several. Ask some of our employees. I'm certain of it. Oh, stop. Stop it, every one of you. Don't start texting me now in the middle of the live radio show. We've got more to come through the hour, every day at about this time. In the next segment, we're going to take you to yesterday's Muncie Parks Department meeting. They talked about some kids programming coming up for the summer. We'll get to that and more in a moment on WMUN.
It's Deck Days at Lowe's, and the savings are stacked. Right now, pros get 15% off all in-stock composite decking from top brands like Trex, TimberTech, and Decorators. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt max 5-amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt tool. The deck's stacked in your favor with brands pros trust. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 4/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Start your day with Quaker Protein Instant Oatmeal. The instant oatmeal ready to help you tackle whatever your day brings, like wrangling your toddler into their car seat. That was fun. Coaching your 6th graders soccer team. Go girls! And carrying all the groceries in one trip. Whew. Try Quaker Protein Instant Oatmeal, granola, and bars. Great taste and a good source of protein. Quaker. Bring out the good.
The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, the IFCJ, looks after those in need, particularly in Israel and in Ukraine. Individuals like Esther, an 84-year-old Jewish woman living in Israel. She lives her days in fear with sirens sounding and long stretches spent in a bomb shelter.
She receives no help from others, no food deliveries, no medical care, but because of friends like you, Esther's not alone. Through the fellowship, you are there bringing food, meeting urgent needs, and reminding Jewish people like Esther, you are not forgotten.
In times of fear and uncertainty, your compassion brings hope and help. The IFCJ brings us together to help one another, Christians and Jews. In doing so, you're doing a good deed. The fellowship uses your donations wisely, maximizing on its value to provide comfort to those in need.
Call 888-488-IFCJ right now. That's 888-488-IFCJ, or go to ifcj.org. That's ifcj.org.
FM, AM, and Alexa. Live daily on demand at WMUNmuncie.com. Now back to Steve Lindell on Delaware County Today, presented by Muncie Community Schools.
That is the voice of Tom Campbell, who is likely listening right about now. He typically does. He does more often than not. Oh, we like the listeners. My name is Steve Lindell from Woof Boom Studio B. The YouTube channel is named that, Woof Boom Studio B. Follow along for a lot of video updates out of this room and beyond. And the visual component of the audible stuff that we bring you sometimes with news and information, which is what we're going to do right now. Last night, the monthly, I think it is, Muncie City Parks Department meeting. Nancy and I just happened upon it on the YouTube channel for the city of Muncie. And the portion that I wanted to bring you this morning was, I believe his name is Mark White. Hold on. Yeah, it is Mark White. When they were bringing him to the podium to talk about upcoming summer programs for kids. I'm not looking at the camera right now because I'm trying to click a little tiny play button that I'm going to do for you right about now. And again, this is from last night at Muncie City Hall Auditorium.
So our first program that we have coming up is our National Kids to the Park Day. That is May 16th. 12 to 4. We're going to have bounce houses. We have
that may
kites,
not be coming
kickball,
through.
Basketball, all those kinds of
For some
fun
reason,
things.
I've got it in
Food
one
for our
channel in my
youth,
headphone. I'm going to bring that audio down for just a second. I'm going to count on Justin, my producer, to give me a quick communique via text to let me know whether or not that audio was coming through or not. Just a moment ago, curious to know if you were hearing Mark White from yesterday's Muncie City Parks Department. He says it was coming through, so let's bring it up one more time.
Already. I will say we have gotten a little feedback on the low number. Last year was around 100 students. This year we only selected 50. And doing that is because
for some reason I can't hear it in my headphones, so even though Justin says it is there, I'm going to bring it down, and we're going to have to move on to our next items. Apologize for that, but I'll summarize basically what he was talking about. You can see the video playing there. He was basically sharing that there are some summer programs which typically happen, and they are getting ready for those to amp up and ramp up because, gosh, it's going to be summertime before we know it. One of those programs involves kids that work in the community. They earn a paycheck, and they do things job-wise, not only to earn some money, but also to learn some life skills. And the city of Muncie has funded that in large part or totally through the last several summers. He did explain, I say he, Mark White, I believe was the name that I'm trying to remember, speaking last night at the Muncie City Parks Department meeting, that the program has been pared back a bit. They've had 100 or more youth involved in that summer program in past summers, and I think one summer they had even far more than 100, but this year they'll have 50. They've gotten the application process taken care of. They have the parents notified. I remembered Mark was talking about that during the meeting last night while we were watching and covering for WMUN Radio News. And he also talked about a couple of other programs. He only mentioned 2 or 3, and I think in his preface to the board at City Hall Auditorium, he explained that he was just going to highlight the 2 or 3 that were coming up quickest, the soonest ones that were going to be transpiring. We're going to double back with maybe Carl Malone from the City Parks Department, or perhaps Mark himself. We might even book Mark to come in here as a guest sometime soon as we talk about what people are talking about in Muncie, Delaware County. Moving forward and moving on. Next item people are talking about: Republicans are divided on a package to fund Homeland Security.
I'm Chad Pergram with the Speaker's Lobby. If it's up to top Senate GOP leaders, the next budget reconciliation package to finally fund the Department of Homeland Security will be on a fiscal cocktail of Wegovy and Ozempic. But other Republicans want this measure to be a high-caloric political feast. Pop-Tarts, sour cream and onion potato chips from Pringles, topped with Reese's Pieces and a side of Haagen-Dazs chocolate peanut butter ice cream. Congressional Republicans are now teeing up a reconciliation package to end the 2-month-long DHS funding stalemate. By using budget reconciliation as a tool, Republicans can ignore Democrats, sidestep a Senate filibuster, and prospectively pass the bill on their own. Some want to stuff the reconciliation bill with tens of billions of dollars to cover the cost of the war in Iran. Others want to include the touchstone of President Trump's legislative agenda, the Save America Act. There's also a push to tack on farm aid, but the broader the bill, the more challenging it is to pass. And whatever they decide to do will be a weighty question. With the Speaker's Lobby, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
On WMUN's Delaware County today, we talk about what people are talking about in Muncie, Delaware County. From earlier in the hour, I mentioned the young man that was on stage at the Ball State University Athletics Chirpies Awards. I just found that picture to bring up on the screen for the YouTube channel, youtube.com, Wolfboom Studio B. If you subscribe to that channel, you can see things that we talk about too. Neat story that Mick Tidrow shared with us, and I love when I hear good stories, and you can share them too. Good news, all news, questions, compliments, I suppose complaints, but I'd rather have the other things. You can email those to us, WMUN@wolfboom.com, WMUN, our call letters, @wolf like the dog, boom like the firecracker, .com like the internet. You can also go to particular phone number, Sean Mattingly, 289-6397, 289-NEWS, if you want to look at those little tiny letters on there and try to spell it out. Next item begs a question from me. Did we need research to determine this?
This is House Call for Health. Researchers say your dreams could affect your mood in the morning. If you have a bad dream, you may likely wake up in a nasty mood. But on the flip side, they find dreams with a mixture of fear and joy increase the odds of waking up in a mellow mood. Dream sleep, which is called REM or rapid eye movement, is the stage of sleep where the most memorable dreaming occurs. For the study, researchers analyzed dream reports from more than 500 people, comparing them to the participants' emotional state the next morning. The findings showing those who had a mixture of fear and joy in their dreams had 20% higher odds of waking up calm and tranquil. The state of mind for those with bad dreams was associated with worse moods in the morning. Even though, as a lead researcher writes, we're in a safe environment in our dreams, we cannot technically be harmed. If all goes wrong in a dream, we wake up. The study is reported in the journal Sleep. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health, I'm Lisa Brady. Fox News.
On WMUN, News Talk, Sports Talk, Community Talk. There is a Ball State home baseball game today, as we've mentioned. No radio on that one, but a big weekend series, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You'll get all of those right here on the WMUN, the 92.5 FM, and all the rest. Now, from the 2019 archives, doing good in the Sunshine State.
The Dean's List with Janice Dean.
Some Florida deputies who surprised a teen cancer survivor with a present he won't forget makes today's Dean's List. Dalen Campbell was given a bike over Christmas to lift his spirits as he battled acute myeloid leukemia. Due to side effects from his cancer treatment, he was never strong enough to ride a bike before it was stolen. Family friend Corey Shea posted on Facebook that Dalen's bike had been stolen and asked for information about the theft to come forward. Her story caught the attention of the Polk County Sheriff's Office, and several deputies chipped in to buy a new bike, a helmet, and a lock. Sheriff Grady Judd and several other deputies surprised Dalen with his new gear at his family's home. Dalen is now in remission, and we hope this bike will help him enjoy being a kid again. That's what the Sheriff's Office wrote on Facebook. Thank you, Sheriff Grady and the Polk County Sheriff's Department for making Dalen's day, and ours too. You all made the Dean's List. Janice Dean, Fox News.
And thank you, Janice Dean, from the archives. I'm Steve Lindell, host of the daily program live on WMUN 92.5 FM, 1340 AM, free streaming from anywhere on the website, plus the Alexa and other smart speaker devices. The video goes to the YouTube channel Woof Boom Studio B. For Justin Peckinpah and Jackson Jacoby producing in the Axia Command Center, Steve Lindell back again tomorrow morning right here on WMUN.